Just talking through a piece of code again, just looking at this piece of code and identifying, well, first of all, some of the constructs that's in it, and just thinking about reading the code generally. So the first bit that we've got on this code is an import statement, and we're just importing a Python library. So we're importing the random library. So that means we can use random to make random numbers. So there are various libraries that you can import in Python, and all of them start with an import statement. You can also import your own modules as well if you've created a module separately. So then we've got two definitions in here. So these definitions, we'd call those procedures or functions. One of them is a procedure, the other one is a function. So main is a procedure, because there's no value returned from main, but make random is a function because there's a return value from that. So that's a function. This one, main, is a procedure. So we identified those two things for a start. So we've got a section of code here, which we would call iteration. So iteration just literally means doing things several times or over and over again. So this in this case, we've got a while loop. So this is going to run while the variable loop count is less than or equal to 27. So we made it 0 there. We did an initialization. So we initialized the variable. We initialized it with a value of 0. So it would have given that variable the data type integer. So we've got loop count equals 0 here. Then while the loop count is less than or equal to 27, we're going to use a local variable here inside this main. It's called nextrand. Nextrand equals make random 26. And so that's going to go off here. And the 26 is going to become limit here. So that will be 26 in this case. And this random equals random.randrange 0 to limit. So the random number range is going to be from 0 to the limit is 26, so we're going to return a random number up to 26 from this particular bit of code. And every time we call this bit of code, we could send it a different number. In this case, we're always going to send it 26. It returns this random, so this random becomes this next random bit here. So the return value there goes up to here. If I could draw an arrow, that would be useful. So nextrand has become the return value from this random. So then we're printing out the random number, we're printing out the loop count plus 1. So loop count would be 0 at the beginning, so we'd print out 1. Random number 1 is, and whatever the next random number was, we're going to print that out. And then this bit of code is incrementing, so loop count plus equals 1. That's the same thing as saying loop count equals loop count plus 1. So we're going to add 1 to the loop count. So every time we go through this bit of code, loop count will go up by 1. And so while the loop count is less than or equal to 27, it will run. So as soon as it becomes 27, then it's going to stop running. So this bit of code at the bottom is where we call the main definition to start the program running. So this program will run through here until we've got a set of random numbers that we've printed out on the screen. So it's using two definitions, one being a procedure, one being a function. Remember, the function returns a value. We call that function here by using make random and sending it this parameter. So these are called parameters. So this is a value parameter we're sending to it. Limit here is a reference parameter. So that's a parameter that's been created inside make random so that we can use it with any value we send to it. And you can see that it's used just there, limit. So limit has become 26 because we've sent it 26 on this occasion. So that's a parameter. this is a parameter, this is a reference parameter, this is an actual value, a value parameter that we're sending to this part of the program. It then returns this random, returns back here, and next rand becomes whatever the value of this random was that time. And so that's the program. We've got two definitions and an import statement.